Okay, we are live with Tyler. I'm going to share my screen with you, Tyler. Okay, can you see the chart?
Yes.
All right. When is your birthday?
October 14th, 1994,
Time.
11:31 a.m.,
Place.
Brooklyn, New York.
I guess Kings County, right?
Absolutely.
12 degrees Sag. Yeah, I
Yep.
remember your
Well
chart
said,
now,
Bryson.
actually. All right.
Sweet.
So, what's going on lately?
Honestly, I've been spending most of my time uh, focusing on my expansion business wise. And I use the term business lightly. I mean, it's a business for all intents and purposes, but it's very much vocational. So it doesn't.
Vocational.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
It means that I do my service and my work is really just what I love to do, rather than
Mhm.
it being a business and really focused on profits in any way.
What is your business?
So it's called Reckless Abandon Tarot. Right now, I provide tarot readings to kind of help people reconnect to themselves and decenter themselves from kind of capitalist value structures and belief systems.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Decenter themselves. Okay. Mm-hmm. And do you do anything else for work besides that?
I perform roller skating with my friends.
Aha.
Um, yeah, I have a skate duo, which consists of myself and my best friend, but then we also skate with another friend for her original concept that she creates.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So skating is a big part of your life.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's my everything. It's my absolute favorite thing to do, as well as do readings for people and connect with them in that way.
Hmm. Okay. I'm thinking about your readings, and I
Yeah,
feel like they're very soothing, but very empowering.
yeah, definitely. That's my favorite thing to do is help empower people and help them like be affirmed, be validated, be seen, and realize that they have all the power to create change in their circumstance.
Hmm. Okay. When you're roller skating, um, can you tell me more about that? Do you guys have is it outdoor? Is it indoor? Is it a club? Is
Well,
it just the two of you? Hmm.
it's both of those things. So we skate regularly at our home rink. I skate like 3 nights a week, and my bestie Miracle, she skates at least every week, like one night. But there's rink style, which is more so like typical skating rink going around in the circle or ellipse. Um, And then when we perform, we do more like jam skating style, which is more so like the dancey type of skating.
Hmm. Where do you perform?
Wherever people ask us to. We started at one of the local nightclubs, and we were kind of like the skate go-go's. But we performed at our rink, our home rink. We've performed At many different like corporate events. We've performed on the pier here in Seattle. We've performed for people's
Hmm.
music videos. Yeah, a lot of stuff.
Okay, is it usually, do you often go by the water to skate?
Um, Sometimes we'll go like trail skating on Alki by the beach. Um, but I haven't gone on a trail skate yet for the year.
Okay. Okay, so I'm just getting familiar with the skating, right? It's something new for me. So I don't know too much about that. But
Mhm.
okay, I guess these are the things that I feel in the first place
Yeah.
so far. Um, I'm gonna take out the sun for just a moment. So the Mercury in Scorpio is still a little elusive for me. I don't feel the
Mhm.
Scorpio just yet, but I feel the Mars in Leo very much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, because you're performing, right? And I know
Mhm.
when you're skating, it's very like hoo ha, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. People love to watch me. A lot of people say that I'm their favorite person to watch at the rink.
Okay, because you're very expressive, I guess.
Yeah, I just go for it. Like I just, throw my body out there, like with the tricks and all the stuff, you know?
Okay. Right, so that all is giving me Mars and Leo.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so
But
much
then I
fun.
feel the Sun in Libra in the 10th house
Oh my God.
because
Yeah.
you're putting on these performances with your bestie, right? So you're not
Hmm.
doing it alone,
Yeah.
you're doing
I
it
love, yeah, our
together.
skate duo.
Huh?
Is that I was referencing our skate duo.
Right.
That is like the biggest part of that for sure. But then also now we perform a lot as a trio for um, her creation.
Okay. hmm Okay. Um, what else is going on?
Um, right now I've been working on I'm gonna be putting forward a workshop at the local like studio for the metaphysical community here in West Seattle. And it's coming out in Leo season. I just feel that in my bones. But yeah, I've been like putting together like concepts and ideas and just trying to figure out exactly how I'm structuring it, which I'm not necessarily like creating my own structure, but just how I want to put it forward, you know. Um, so yeah, I'm just working on that. Um, is like the main thing, like my main focus.
Okay, can you tell me more about that? What does it mean? So you're putting on a workshop on what?
Yes. So it's teaching tarot, but it's not necessarily about like teaching people how to read tarot. It is teaching people how to recognize their own like particular gift and how they talk to the universe, you know? And then tarot is just the tool.
Okay. hmm And what does it mean? I mean, why is it a big focus? Isn't it like you just go and you give the talk, or what do you have to collect to be ready?
I'm just collecting my concepts and how I practice like the tarot and how I've made a very intimate embodied connection with the archetypes and the language of tarot. And it's really about showing people how to do that for themselves and how to like essentially uh, become their own like magician and get the universe to be their bitch and make it do what they want it to do.
hmm So do you feel kind of stalled in that process, or like it's taking?
No, I definitely don't feel stalled. I feel really good. Like, I feel like I used to have a harder time kind of understanding or feeling the energy in regards to when I should be like putting things out and when I should be like taking my time or, just, you know, not needing to work so hard on it. I'm very much flowing into the process and like, the downloads like come in and I mean, I feel like I'm channeling more lately anyways. Like I just have a lot more noise in my mind, but I know that it's coming out in Leo season, so I'm definitely not rushing, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking about how the North Node currently is exactly conjunct your Saturn in the
I
third house of
know.
Pisces. That's what I was thinking about this whole time that you're telling me about the metaphysical shop and what you're doing there.
Hmm.
Because I was
Hmm.
thinking, yeah, you're kind of collecting all that you've learned and you're
Yeah.
putting it together in a teaching format. And I
Yeah.
remember last time we were talking, actually, you were talking about similar things, but you weren't as
Yeah.
sure.
I was, I think the last time that we talked, I was like still midway through like my Saturn return.
Right,
And I was actually I was visiting my mom in Jacksonville because she was having
right.
like a little bit of challenge with her health. But yeah, I mean, my Saturn return, it was such an interesting time. And like, I was so sad when Saturn was leaving Pisces. Like, I really enjoyed it. And it really crystallized, I feel like, the wisdom that I have um, developed over the 30 years, you know?
Mm-hmm,
Uh, so I'm just much more confident in everything that I do and trusting, you know, where the energy takes me.
mm-hmm.
You know?
This performances that you started doing as a trio, is that something more recent?
Our first performance as a trio was in 2023, maybe. So not super recent, but we did just debut a new routine, and Miracle released her first original song. Um,
Aha. Yes. Okay. Um, so about that part,
mhm.
now I'm feeling Pluto's exact opposition to your Mars in Leo.
Yeah, yeah.
One of them is that you released a new dance routine together.
Hmm.
And the other one is that she's released her first original song. Obviously, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
did you help her put the song together?
We helped choreograph the routine, all three of us.
Okay. Yes. Because of Mars in the eighth house,
Yep.
right? So you're helping her choreograph her routine together. Okay. Are you like featured on is there like a music video?
She is working on a music video. We're not gonna be in the video, I don't think. Um, but yeah, I mean, not too
Mhm.
much besides we all just perform it together.
Okay. What else can you notice about that opposition?
Um, hmm. It's funny that I haven't really thought too much about it.
Right, totally. It's kind of hard when you're put on the spot just to notice it because there's so much going on all the time. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah.
think about
I mean,
it.
so I feel like so I usually look at my chart and whole sign.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so like it's third house, ninth house and whole sign. And
Right.
I just think about how much more like overstimulated that I am, like mentally. And
Why are you
I
overstimulated mentally?
I feel like I've been getting like a lot more like downloads, like and like I'm just like channeling and like tapping into like fucking different frequencies, and I literally cannot handle just like my like usual consumption of like uh stimulation as far as like content and like music and all of that. I just don't handle it the same. anymore. And so definitely like needing to create more time for like stillness or, you know, time for not like blasting music in my freaking skull and having things like playing in the background all the time, which is how I usually
Interesting.
do things. Yeah.
So now you have more quiet rather than having the sound all the time.
You know, I'm trying to be more intentional about that and create new rhythms in that direction, you know?
Okay. That again makes me think about Pluto's opposition to your Mars in Leo,
Hmm.
from the sense of Leo being like loud and noisy.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And so you try to do less of that or do it differently. And then of course the Mercury comes in.
Yeah.
So Pluto's making an exact square to your Mercury during this period and still like
Mhm.
for the next year.
Yep.
So that also makes me think about you getting tons of downloads. And
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
mean when you say that? Like,
I just feel like I am more aware of like the porousness of my energy, and
mhm,
like I get um messages through like dreams, like much more vividly than I've ever had. And it will be like something like every night, and a different like a different person will be like the main character, and
since
I
how
would,
long is that?
oh my god, probably just like since earlier this month, honestly,
Okay.
or maybe since like
Uh,
like late March into early April.
okay, there's something else that I'm feeling very strongly now. It's about Neptune.
Mm.
Neptune is on the cusp of your fourth house.
Yeah, yeah,
And it was exact 1 month ago.
yeah. Nice. Um, I've also
Hmm.
been getting a lot more curious about like ancestors and spiritual guides,
Hmm.
and that kind of curiosity just recently like started getting piqued, probably like within this past week or two, maybe.
Okay, so that also makes me think about like the Saturn in the fourth.
Mhm.
I was going to ask about that. Maybe we'll get there. And then again, the North Node conjoins your Saturn. So that makes me think
Mhm.
about you reaching out to ancestors beyond the veil and spirit
Yeah.
guides. Uh-huh. Okay. And in what way do you like what do you communicate about with those spirits?
Well, I feel like I haven't had any intentional contact with them quite yet. Um, I don't know exactly when I will be like, I don't know, I guess trying to put that forward. Like I feel it in me, like I feel it in my energy, and but I don't know exactly in what way I'm going to try to really connect with them yet,
Hmm.
if that makes sense.
What about with your earthly family? How are things?
Ugh, oh my goodness. Literally, so I was traveling earlier this month because I was going on a cruise to celebrate my mom's retirement. And so uh
Aha.
yeah.
Okay, hold on a minute. So now again, I'm feeling the Saturn Neptune conjunction in your fourth,
Hmm.
right? Because Saturn is the retirement of your mom, Saturn in the fourth, and Neptune is the cruise
Yeah,
celebrating on the ocean.
yeah,
Does that
yeah.
make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, good. So you went on a cruise to
Hmm.
celebrate your mom's retirement, and
So yeah, we're gone for 5 days, but I had like a couple of days on each end of the cruise where I like spent some time with my mom in Jacksonville again. But this time it's just completely different because my sister and her husband and my two nieces also live there, and so um, it's just changed a lot and changed in regards to my mom's expectations for her retirement.
Oh,
And yeah, um, I don't know, it's just a hard situation for my mom, and I feel so much for her. But
well, hold on a minute. I don't understand what's going on yet. What you said everything's changed a lot.
yeah, well, it's
What does
just
that what does that mean?
I guess that was very um so my mom initially bought her condo in Jacksonville so that she can, have a place to retire and, live on her own and just kind of just have a space that was nice. Now that my sister and my nieces live there, like, the my nieces are both very young, and so two young children who
Mm,
are
mm,
who don't get the attention that they really need and they really deserve. Um,
mm-hmm.
they're just a little bit hard to handle, and they get their hands on
Uh-huh.
everything. And yeah,
Wait, what did you say? The last
I said,
sentence?
I said they get their hands on everything. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Okay, so what I'm understanding is your mom had a lovely plan to retire in Jacksonville quietly.
hmm
But your sister has arrived with husband and children, and now your mom has to deal with those grandkids.
hmm hmm
Okay, and for her it's a lot because it's a lot of work put on her plate by your sister, I guess.
Yeah, well, I feel like the my sister and her husband are supposed to like have the responsibility of really creating structure and routine and um teaching like discipline and all that for my nieces, and they're not as attentive as they need to be. And my mom, I don't think she's like trying to do too much to take care of them or like step into that type of role. Um, but she definitely can't handle sometimes the energy, you know.
Okay, that was your impression while you were there, or also your impression while you're away talking to her on the phone?
That's my impression while I'm there. My mom doesn't really tell me much of what's going on. Um, while when we're talking like long distance.
So on the cruise, you and her could chill?
Yeah, she had a break, and um we we actually had a big group with us uh that
A
went on the
big
cruise.
group.
Yeah, there were 12 of us that went. Um
You said it was earlier this month,
yep, it was April 12th through the 17th.
12th through the 17th.
hmm
Oh, yes. Excellent. Okay, so that tells me that you were there, let's say from the 10th.
Yep, I left on at midnight on the 9th.
Okay, you arrived there at the 10th. Perfect.
hmm
Hmm. And was it like straight away you encountered that situation with the nieces when you arrived?
Yeah, essentially, yes. As soon as I got to my mom's condo, yeah, it basically begun.
Okay, so I want to point out something about April 10th.
Yeah.
You can notice that Mars is at 0 degrees of Aries.
Yes. Oh my
Okay,
God. Yeah.
conjunct the cusp of your fourth house. Okay.
hmm
So
hmm
there, that's for me is interesting on two levels. One of them, of course, is you leave home to go to sunny Jacksonville. I guess you're in California, so for you it should be equally warm.
I'm in
And
Seattle.
or in Seattle, never mind.
Yeah.
Seattle's not that warm. Um, and then of course the nieces being was
hmm
there like running around and yelling and rambunctiousness?
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
much so. Yeah, absolutely.
Was that kind of your first time meeting your nieces as well?
No, but It's my first time getting to spend time with them while they are like verbal, you know, because
Mhm.
the older one, she's been nonverbal for probably like her first 4 years. And then the younger one, she speaks more like, the things that she's learned from, Miss Rachel and Gracie's Corner. Um, but she wasn't speaking when I last seen her. So this is the first time that I've gotten to be with them while they actually communicate in some way.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay, there's a few things that I pick up now.
what are we looking at?
Huh?
I said, what are we looking at?
Um, yeah, just one at a time. There's a few things I want to point out, in fact. Uh, okay. It's about Pluto, Mars, and Mercury, basically, and Saturn.
Okay.
So I want to point out, just like in your birth chart, that you have Saturn in the third house
Hmm.
in Pisces, and that makes me think about your nieces being selectively mute, or at
Hmm.
least one of them. Like she didn't
Yeah.
talk. That was your experience of her, is not being able, which is unusual. Like most people talk.
Right.
Okay. The second part is like that Pluto, because Pluto signifies big shifts, right? So before you didn't know these girls too well
Hmm.
because they didn't talk. Now suddenly they have a voice. So that for
Hmm.
me is the opposition to Mars and Leo, because now they're
Hmm.
like being loud and rambunctious, making noise,
Yeah.
and the square with Mercury and Scorpio. Because Mercury and Scorpio for me in the first place is someone who doesn't talk, or someone who's
Hmm.
very quiet, or someone who's more receptive, right?
Nice.
Because it's Scorpio. And
Right.
so now that there's this big change, that must be
Yeah.
very surprising.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I want to point out is that during your trip, right, you said that it started on the 12th.
Yeah.
So just notice that it's the sun is in your fourth house at
Hmm.
22 degrees. Okay. And
Hmm.
notice that he's the entire time making a sextile to your moon, right? Because you start out at
Yeah.
22, but then by the 17th, you end up at 27.
Hmm. Yep. That
And
Aries
the reason I
thing.
point that out is because Aquarius is when you do things in a group,
Mm.
right? So you said that there was a group of 12 of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, that period of being on the cruise and the sun is highlighting the moon the entire time is like you and all the people on the
Mhm.
cruise and the group of 12 that you're with.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I love that.
Okay, very good.
Hmm. Hmm.
And then what? So what happened once you got off the cruise? The day that the cruise ended was a new moon.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Well, so the new moon was like the last like full day of the cruise, and then we left that next morning, like early off of the ship.
Okay. And what was your so what when you got off the ship, what did that feel like? Like what do you think happened on the ship?
I mean, we all had a pretty good time, like really beautiful like moment to like celebrate my mom and just kind of reflect on how much time has passed since like a lot of people have seen each other. And I think that the group that we had was a really good group. We all really enjoyed each other. Um, it was just a
Who is
fun
this
a fun
group?
trip. It was me, my older brother, my mom's bonus son, which is like another friend who had grown up with us when we were younger. Two of my mom's sisters, one of my cousins, one of my mom's
Uh-huh.
cousins, um, two of her friends that she worked with um, in New York like 20, 30 years ago, um, and one of her best friends from the country that she grew up in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I see a whole other meaning to the sun passing through your fourth and sextiling your moon in Aquarius. It's
Yeah.
all the family members and the close family friends that you've known all your life and you grew up with,
Yeah.
right? And that
Mm,
makes me think again about Neptune being simultaneously on the cusp of the fourth. It's like everyone's on a cruise, all the people from your
yeah.
past.
Yeah. Definitely. It's
Everyone's on the
funny.
ocean together.
It's funny because some of the people that are there like have known me and my older brother from when we were very young, but like we don't. Well, I don't remember them. You know.
Mm,
Um,
wow. Almost a cruise out of time.
yeah. I mean, I literally had no service on anything. I couldn't connect with anybody, and it was an interesting time. Like I actually really enjoyed not having the service. Um, but it was nice to have it back when I got back to the mainland.
Hmm. Interesting. Okay. So that was kind of the previous chapter was the cruise.
hmm
What is
hmm
the new chapter?
As far as family goes.
Well, or just in general, or yeah, even family.
Mhm. Hmm. Well, as far as the family situation goes, like I had a moment before I came back to Seattle where, I kind of had to contend a little bit with the fact that I could be like a catalyst for change and in that space, but I honestly don't have the capacity to um, show up for that like the way that it needs. And I kind of have my own path that I'm really like expanding on and moving faster and you know moving down that I need to focus on. So it's like wanting to be there for family and kind of help move things along there and create change there, but knowing that it's not my job. And that's kind of hard, but that's just what it is. And that'll shift in the ways that it needs to shift. And I don't have to do anything about it.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm now that I'm back home, I'm really just like looking forward to just continuing down like this path with like my um practice, like my role, I suppose, as a healing practitioner, spiritual practitioner.
Hmm.
Um yeah, I'm a part of a healing collective here in Seattle. And so our container started as like 20 practitioners, but we've had a good amount of people kind of step out when they've needed to. So I don't know exactly how many of us there are now, but um, I have really been enjoying that group because it's cool to kind of see how we've all become more intimate with each other over the like 6, 7 or 8 months that we've been meeting up. And some people have left, but it's taken time for us to kind of start feeling, I guess, close. Um, but yeah, um,
Hmm.
yeah.
Do you guys get together like I don't know to picnic, to dance, to listen to music together, to hang out?
Sometimes, yeah. So there is I think they established a like once a month like dance party at the studio. Um, but mostly as a collective, we get together once a month and kind of talk about a different aspect of like business or like supporting each other and how we are like expanding with services and all of that. Um,
Hmm. And I guess there's also like you kind of have a like an inbuilt reference system. You sort
yeah,
of
we do. We do.
okay. Okay, so this now is very strongly showing me the Pluto transit, especially the square to your Mercury in
Mm.
Scorpio. So this here I feel like is this healing collective that you're slowly growing more close with and interacting more frequently with, right? Because there's the 11th house and the Aquarius part, both.
Hmm.
There's also coming up for me your Moon Saturn conjunction, actually, and how the North Node is passing over them.
Yeah.
This also makes me think about you being part of a healing collective group.
Yeah.
So, so and okay, so how come you brought that up on your own?
And I feel like that was just another like example of kind of the Aquarius energy that I'm
Hmm.
like working with on a regular basis. Yeah.
Right.
And how that area is shifting in my life.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I felt like I want to take a look at two things, starting with the Venus-Jupiter conjunction,
Okay.
because it's so exact.
I know. I love it.
One of the first things that came up is wine.
Wine.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate wine.
Do you do
I
any kind of
really
drinking? Social drinking?
um I don't drink super often. When I drink socially, I usually just drink like a beer or two. Um, I don't like being drunk. I don't like the feeling of being drunk. Um, so yeah.
Yeah, this makes me think about the healing collective, definitely.
Hmm.
Okay. This makes me think about you having a few girlfriends that you're very close with.
You know, my best friend is a woman, but I feel like the people that I am mostly like close with are like male or masculine, um, like energy people. But as far as like my work and like collective and networks like that, it's usually women. It's primarily women.
Mhm. Okay, I feel women really loving you.
Yeah, they've been a huge help and like prominent figures that have kind of moved me along on my journey.
There also feels like a quietness to this. There's like a place of quietude where
Yeah.
people gather, maybe where you go. Something it's very sacred, maybe like a temple of some kind.
So our metaphysical community here, we do a community meditation every Saturday.
Yes.
Hmm. I love that group. It's amazing.
Okay. Okay, this also makes me think about you, like metaphysical concepts naturally coming to you and you being able to relate them very well, and from many traditions or many different types of practice. Oh yeah, being friends with magicians, lots of magicians around you.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, exactly that. That's one of the things that I love the most about the collective is that like I've wanted to be in a group with people who practice different modalities because I'm interested in expanding into different things,
Mhm.
but I am not a person who does like traditional learning that is like programmed and structured and linear. I like to kind of just absorb.
This also makes me think about you having a favorite like place eating out, and also made me think about you
Mm.
like ordering from like Facebook Marketplace.
Stop right now. Okay, as far as like a favorite place eating out, I don't know if I have. I mean, yes and no. Like I feel like I'm more so like to eat the same things because I know what I like and I hate when I try something new and I don't enjoy it. You know,
Oh,
but Facebook Marketplace, no. But I do use Facebook to be on the local like buy nothing groups. Those are my favorite things. And so like
uh-huh.
there's so many groups in all the different neighborhoods here in Seattle, and people are just giving away stuff for free. And
Yes.
oh my gosh, that is my everything.
Hmm.
That is so funny. I love that.
Okay, I also see like the sauna or the bath or maybe the pool or maybe the ocean.
Probably my shower.
Okay.
Definitely my shower. I have so many astral conversations in the shower.
Yes, exactly.
I do.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah, it felt like there's a lot of information coming when the water's
Yeah.
pouring down. And I also felt like maybe there's like a mosaic of different like shampoos and soaps and stuff
Hmm. That's interesting. Definitely. I don't have that.
and creams and hygiene
um,
products.
well, I've always been bad at like having like regular self-care routines in that regard.
Oh,
I would like to kind of be able to develop those types of rhythms, and not feel like they're boring.
uh-huh.
So I do have more things than I used to have.
Interesting. Okay. For some reason, that's bringing me to your Mercury Mars square. And the
Yes.
sentence I got was something like being pretty calm and chill in the way you
Hmm.
communicate, and you
Hmm.
don't like to like get into a tizzy, for example.
Yeah. Yeah.
But at the same time, I feel you being like very expressive.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the things that people always like, well, it's the immediate thing that people notice about me is like my big laugh. Like I have a big laugh,
Yeah.
you know, and people. I guess they don't comment on it like they used to, but every now and then I still get comments on it.
I also feel you representing something or someone. Like maybe someone doesn't have
Mhm.
the fire that is needed, and so you step in and you
Mm,
kind of for them, or you can be like they're yeah.
I could definitely do that. I feel like I end up like helping people represent themselves, you know, as far as like mm,
Yes.
as far as like seeing themselves, you know what I mean? Like,
Hmm. Okay, this makes me think that you kind of instruct people in a very safe way how to express themselves,
yeah, I
how to find what
am.
is in uh-huh.
Yeah, I so basically what it is that I am very I'm an expert at making people feel safe. And like they don't realize that I am providing just like this completely like safe energy and aura. And because of that, you know, their authenticity kind of just arises naturally.
Hmm.
And some people become afraid of that. And some people, really love that and really cherish that, you know.
Yeah, I feel like you try to you're turning the lights on in people.
I do. I activate them. I press that power button.
Yes.
Hmm.
Hmm. And I also see this as like an actual physical thing. Like either they're shouting or they're screaming or they're shaking or they're stomping. But there's kind of like a big release of energy coming. They start to generate more light.
Mm. That's interesting. I feel like that could relate to me in regards to like kind of before I was aware of like different aspects of like neurodivergence and like autism, like ADHD. And like, you know, when I would have like meltdowns and situations like that, like I essentially
Mm,
I feel like I am throwing a tantrum, but I have to get the energy out of my body, you know?
yes.
So yeah, definitely like I will like stomp and like I just have to like move it. I can't keep it within my body.
Mhm. This makes me think about you also, like having, like being skilled in singing or maybe in speaking, like
I love
modulating the
singing.
volume. Okay.
I love singing so much. Karaoke is one of my absolute favorite things, and I take it very seriously. Everyone likes to like have however many drinks before they do their song, and I cannot have a single drink before I sing my karaoke, because otherwise I will start on the wrong key and embarrass myself.
Uh-huh.
There's that Mars and Leo for you.
And I'm also thinking about the sun in Libra because you said about
Yes.
starting in the wrong key,
Yeah.
right? Me, I would never think about the wrong key, but because I'm, yeah, my, okay, interesting. Here I was also feeling um, like you naturally rule or lead over people without even intending to. You can really project yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's just because like I actually know who I am and I'm very confident in who I am and what I do. And so I just naturally end up in a space of leadership, even though I'm not quite leading. But people look up to me and people
Yep.
like really admire me. And I'm just being myself, you know, I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
trying.
And I feel you making decisions that people are
Yeah.
like, okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, you know, I don't even know. I feel like I just make the decisions that are right for me, and that helps inspire people to make the decisions that are right for them. You know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I also feel I also hear like people tapping into their rage, their sacred rage.
Yes, sacred rage. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hmm. This also feels kind of sexy.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm feeling some kind of sexy energy here.
I don't know. Maybe it's just
Okay.
my Scorpio stellium.
Also like I'm okay, it's like a bubble rave.
Whoa.
Something like that is
Um,
coming up.
that's interesting.
I
You know,
guess that
on
makes
one
me
hand, oh, I'm
go
sorry, go
ahead.
ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, on one hand, like I can see myself enjoying that, but it also seems like overstimulating.
Okay.
And yeah, just like a little bit too much.
Uh-huh. Oh my God, I get it. Okay. But I feel you frequently having that issue of feeling overstimulated.
Oh, absolutely. But the problem
Okay.
is that nobody gives a fuck. So I just have to like leave when I'm ready to go. Because no one else is going to like accommodate for me and my energy.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. Very bad.
Hmm. Do you draw?
I used to. Yeah, I mean, I definitely have like art background and I've probably dipped my toe into every different medium that fucking inspired me or I thought that I can do it. And I'm typically pretty good at things like on a first try, but never really good at just having the consistency to really hone those skills.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I was feeling here the contrast between dark and light.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Um,
Like angels and demons, that comes up as well.
hmm. Angels and
Oh,
demons.
interesting. Now I'm getting like all of the archangels, like Raphael and Michael and them.
Mhm.
That's actually about your Venus-Jupiter conjunction.
Yeah.
Now I felt like relating to higher order entities.
Love it. Let's do it.
Oh, like a natural affinity for knowledge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I am an eternal student, I feel like we all are, but people think that they know things that they don't know, or they act like they know things they don't know.
Okay. Uh-huh. Um,
Mhm.
okay. This is about like bodies of water in the United States,
Okay.
like rivers and lakes. Yeah, maybe the Great Lakes.
Great Lakes. I haven't spent a lot of time in the Midwest, so I've never been around the Great Lakes. Um, I live in Seattle, so I
Uh-huh.
do live by the Puget Sound. Um,
What was the last thing you said?
so I live by the Puget Sound.
What's that?
That is basically the body of water just to the west of Seattle.
Okay. So the ocean or no?
Nope, it's not the ocean. It's the Puget Sound. There's a kind of, um, I guess it's called a sound. That type of,
Sound like Sound.
yep. hmm
Why is it called a sound?
I think that's just what that, I guess, like water, like formation is called.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, but you don't go there too frequently or anything.
I don't get into the water like in the sound very often. No.
Okay. What about like the spa?
No, no. I wish. I
Mhm.
really wish. Yeah. Yeah, the only like meaningful time that I have in water is in my shower, like literally. I was
In the
glad that I
shower.
was I was
What
glad that
about
I got
like
to swim like when I was on my vacation.
okay, swimming was okay. What about like cold things like ice cream?
Hmm. I mean, I do love ice cream, but I haven't had a lot of ice cream lately. I have been eating a lot more like frozen fruit.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
now,
Okay.
yeah, and I'll literally just have like my bags of frozen fruit, and I'll put them in a bowl and let them thaw a little bit. Um, but eat them while they're still frozen. Yeah.
Okay. So it's the tarot.
Yeah, that's my tool right now.
hmm
Fun tool. It's really fun.
Do you do how often do you read currently?
So as far as like my business goes, I have a space that I rent to see private
Hmm.
clients on Saturdays. And then I have people who are kind of just more so like acquaintances or people who see me more like on a regular basis that will ask me to read for them. Like I did a reading for a friend earlier today. Actually, I did a reading for two friends today. Um, and then I do like walk-in readings on Sundays at the retail shop for Inner Alchemy. And I think that I'm going to start doing more walk-in sessions on Mondays at a different shop.
Is this enough to support your life in Seattle?
Oh, absolutely not.
So where do you have another job?
I technically do, but like I will maybe do like one shift like every month or every other month. Um, yeah.
How do you survive?
I right now like I receive support from like government programs.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Okay. And
Mhm.
since when?
For a while, I mean, as far as like my housing situation, I've been receiving um assistance for the past year. Um, but
Uh-huh.
I've been on and off of other programs over the time as well, over the times.
But since this, just in the past year.
Yeah, just in the past year, I've had like housing assistance.
Okay. This makes me think about Jupiter transiting your eighth house Cancer,
Yep, absolutely.
but it also
Absolutely.
makes me think about Pluto in your second house, Aquarius.
Mm, okay.
I guess squaring your Mercury. I don't understand the situation too well, but just from the fact that you're getting like social assistance, right? That's Aquarius again, can
Mhm.
be, and in your second house. And
Yeah.
so, how does that affect you? That you're, is it little? Do you feel like,
No, I have the perfect space, honestly.
okay,
It's like the perfect place for me. It's funny because when I was apartment hunting, I was interested in having like a little bit more square feet. But you know, those units weren't available by like in time for like the deadline that I needed to um, hit for getting the assistance. So I got this place, and it's honestly the perfect amount of space. Like I don't need any more space, and um, it was all very like serendipitous
was
moment.
it from like last May or so?
I signed my lease at this space last May. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay.
Mhm.
Because the Saturn Neptune conjunction was on your fourth house cusp last
Yep.
May in
Hmm.
25,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And so immediately here I felt, well, there's your new house and you're
Hmm.
getting it through government assistance. Interesting. And how long is the lease for?
A year, so I'm gonna have to figure out if I'm gonna renew it very soon.
Okay, but you would, if you were to renew it, you would still get assistance. You would still get help.
I have to see because they do like you have to reapply essentially or
Right,
update your
right.
financial situation. So I'm still waiting to hear back what I'm gonna, be receiving or whatever.
Uh-huh. Okay, that
Yeah.
makes me think about Saturn transiting your fourth during this period.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Okay, good. Let's pause there for today.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Of course, as soon as we get started, I'm like, okay, now the ball's rolling. Let's,
Yeah,
because there's always so much
absolutely.
more to learn.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly.
Okay, great. So how was that for you?
Oh, that was awesome. No, it was a lot of fun. I think I got what I like. It met the expectation, which I didn't really have an expectation, but it met what I felt like it was going to meet. You know.
Okay, very good. I'm gonna stop recording then,
Cool.
and then we'll talk for a couple more minutes, okay?
Yeah.
All right. So to anyone who watched, nice to see you. And we'll see you on the next episode. All right. Goodbye, friends.